Why did I not appear at first? Did you see that? That's the first time that ever happened to me. I was like, I did not, um, it took a moment there for me to, kind of register into existence. Hi, Penbu. Poof, you were here. Yeah. Um, I'll be honest. Probably because I started up a VTube studio at the last minute, and also had to change my model, the version of my model I was using at the last minute. Should have done it earlier, but it's been a pretty busy morning. So yeah. Oh, my music is missing, but Tara says, "Hey, hi, hey, hola, Tia." I love that greeting. Hey, hi, hey, hola, Tara. It's nice to have you here. I was actually thinking of starting off today with a song. I actually, I think I was leaning towards singing immediately after switching scenes, and then I saw that I didn't exist, and I was like, whoa, I need to take care of that first. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to do that. Singing always helps me, helps take the nerves off, I find. So, okay. I think I've got it. My background music is muted, and my desktop audio is unmuted. So, let's try this out. Ta-da! But how did you like that? I haven't gotten any. I'd love to know what you thought about that. Oh, thank you. Some applause. So that the piece I just sang was Ave Maria, composed by Schubert, Franz Schubert. There's so many composers named Franz, but this particular version was arranged by Liszt. So it's a collaboration between Schubert and Liszt, whose first name is also Franz. Franz Schubert and Franz Liszt. What a coincidence. Goodness, impressive, very nice. Fi, the neutrophil! I saw that you subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your sub. I know of you from Penbu and from Charis, but I don't believe we've ever interacted directly. So thank you for coming. It's very nice to meet you. My name is Faire. I'm the I'm botching my intro because I'm excited. I'm Faire, idol philosopher, and justice incarnate. It's so great to have you here. If they're not named Johann, they're named Franz, right? So that's how it is with classical music composers. If they're not named Johann, like Johann Sebastian Bach, or there are some other Johanns I can't think of off the top of my head, but there are a lot. And if they're not Johann, they're Franz, and it's it almost feels like you have to maybe I should turn on my background music. I just realized that I have not, and maybe I can hide my mic since I'm not singing anymore. Yeah, if they're not named, it feels almost as though you have to go out of your way to look for a composer not named Johann or Franz. Like, for example, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Isn't Wolfgang such a cool name? Well, Mozart, by the way, is probably my favorite classical composer. I'm a big fan of Mozart. Maybe I'll sing something by Mozart sometime. But anyway, I could geek out about music for hours. I will try to avoid doing that since I did sort of brand this as a philosophy stream, and I should probably try to stay on topic as much as I can. Yeah, but to finish what I was saying before, so that was Ave Maria, composed by Schubert, arranged by Liszt, and one of my favorite pieces from the Romantic period, by the way. And something special that I thought I'd share is that that was a backing track that I made, like with what I performed 2 weeks ago. Made not in the sense of writing it, like I said, it was written, it was composed and arranged by Schubert and Liszt respectively, but I transcribed the sheet music. So this was several years ago, but at some point this was a piece I really enjoyed, and I was I wanted to find clear sheet music of it, and I checked to see if anyone had already transcribed it digitally. So there might be some context here required for anyone who sort of like isn't into like music making, sheet music, or just music. So basically anyone here not named Penbu. But so at that point, all I could find online were scans of, you know, scans of like old copies of the sheet music. No one had made a digital version, a clean digital version yet. So I actually took it upon myself to make a version myself. I took matters into my own hands. I won't claim that my version was the, you know, very first version, that I was the first person or the only person to do it. It's entirely possible that someone else, you know, beat me to it, or has made another version or a better version since then. And in either case, I just wasn't aware of it. Sick, Ludwig. Yeah, that's Beethoven, right? Ludwig van Beethoven. Pachelbel. Yeah. Yo, Pachelbel. Yeah, Pachelbel is named Johann, right? I think I remember that from that canon. What was that internet skit called? There was a video that kind of went viral a long time ago in like the 2000s, about the it was like I think it was titled the Pachelbel rant. Would anyone here happen to be familiar with it? Because as a music lover, I always found that like that really funny. But anyway, let me know. But I should really move on. I chose to start the stream with singing because I find that singing calms my nerves. I really like singing, and this is something I will come back to and expand on in a few moments. Sort of my thoughts on sort of the power and the significance of singing and of music. The Pachelbel rant, yeah, and yes, Johann Pachelbel. The Pachelbel rant classic. Oh, so you've seen it too, Fi. So we all have the same frame of point of reference here. So before I got into the philosophy, I actually wanted to take a few moments to speak on what's been going on with me recently, and I sort of really deliberated on you know, whether or not I should do this and how much I should say, but in the end, I think it's probably the better choice for me to try to set the record straight and clear the air, and it's just it's kind of always been my style to prioritize authenticity and transparency and clear communication over maybe a false sense of you know, decorum and outward, I don't know. Decorum is like probably a good word for it already, but in the event that I have to choose between those two options and I can't have both, I think I would rather be kind of authentic. So did you know that I have mental health issues? I'm sure you never would have guessed. No, I've mentioned this from the very start, back in my debut stream, that I am an abuse survivor. I think I recall making sort of some oblique references to PTSD and to health issues. But I avoided going into very much detail about sort of what this exactly, sort of what this meant, how this impacts me, and what other people should expect. This was less of a conscious choice, and honestly, more just there was a lot going that day, and I just mostly forgot to go into detail, as opposed to it being more of like an active choice to you know, keep things or hide certain things, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And after that, after my debut ended, I thought to myself, well, you know, maybe it's okay that if that I you know, I didn't go into detail about it. Maybe it just won't come up, and it won't matter. By the way, is my desktop audio, is my background music doubled? Because I'm looking at OBS, and I feel like it might be. And if that's the case, I'm very sorry. I just turned it off now. Anyway, so how do I say this? I have some notes in front of me. Let's check them. So give me a minute here to scan the notes that I have. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm having trouble reading my own handwriting at certain points. Okay, I think I've got it. So basically, BGM sounds fine to me. So maybe it wasn't doubled. Well, either way, I've disabled my desktop. I've muted my desktop audio just in case. This is very difficult to say. I'm not sure exactly with what words I should use to say this, but I'm going to try my best. I can't dilly-dally forever, but basically, I've had a lot of anxiety since my debut, to the point where I feel like it's affecting my ability to be myself, to present myself the way, to present myself, you know, accurately and in a way that, you know, I feel like reflects my real self on stream, and well, how did I start this sentence? What you see right now is the trauma and the mental illness at work. What did I start off the sentence with? I have anxiety to the point that to the point that it's sort of I feel that it's affecting my ability to be professional. Can't stay long, but hello. Oh, hi, Charis. I have I have bad news. You missed the part where I sang. Well, I say bad news as if I you know, it's for you to decide. But I thought, you know, you might have wanted to hear me sing Ave Maria. That was at the start of the VOD. Because you strike me as a music lover as well, Charis. I was wondering a little if that was a piece that you liked or were at least, you know, familiar with, or, you know, anything like that. But even if you can't stay long, thank you for joining. It's nice to see you. What was I talking about? Yeah, mental health issues, everyone's favorite topic. So, yeah, my anxiety hasn't been that bad, and where am I going with this? To we'll we'll check it out afterwards. Yeah. No pressure, but yeah, I thought I'd just let you know. So, anxiety. You know, it's honestly, it's tough to put it into perspective. Over the last, I'll say it this way. So arguably, my PTSD was triggered after my debut. It was first triggered literally immediately after my debut, when the night of my debut, when I took a nap and then I woke up and I had a panic attack. So I kind of brushed it off at the time, but in hindsight, maybe that was the sign that we were off to a not so great start. I was triggered again the following weekend, just due to personal, personal like circumstances and happenings that aren't worth getting into. And then I was triggered a third time during that next week, while writing the script for my first episode of Justice Spoken, actually, which is a very little surprise, that I, an abuse survivor, would be triggered while trying to write a script about abuse, about really horrible things happening to people. And then finally, I was triggered again the next weekend, again for reasons that I won't go into. So basically, that was like 4 times in, I don't know, over the span of 2 weeks. That's a lot, and I think it showed. I think that particularly in my second week of streaming, I came off not just as really sort of, I came off as very kind of high-strung, intense on stream, and not very confident. And that's not how I want to come off. And not only and aside from just how I came off, it was a real struggle for me behind the scenes as well. I wasn't open about this at the time, but basically during that whole week, I was just so overwhelmed, and there was so much going on that all I really had the energy for was to physically show up to stream and just click the right buttons and start streaming. I didn't have the capacity to do anything else. For instance, one thing that I like to do each time before I begin streaming, if I can, is to just go over in my head and ask myself things like, okay, what do I want to say during the stream? What are some things that I feel like I need to say during the stream? And in general, what is the tone, the vibe that I want to give off? How do I want people to feel when they if they join my stream and they experience my content? Sort of over. What's the word? Yeah, just sort of like wide-reaching questions like that. I was doing it during my first week, but then during my second week, I stopped. Looking back, I know that by rewatching my VODs and seeing how I acted, I know that I wasn't able to do that, and I think it showed. all I had energy for was to just physically show up and stream. I didn't have anything extra in me, and I'm really frustrated, and I've been navigating a lot of fears and questions and doubts, to the point where I did ask myself, should I stop streaming? Because I'm concerned that by continuing in this state, I'll only be damaging my brand, and nothing good will come of it. Tara says, sounds incredibly rough. Struggling to perform when having to deal with those things is understandable. Thank you for that very compassionate comment, Tara. Thank you for your understanding. Yeah, so I asked myself, one of the questions I asked myself was, should I even continue streaming, or should I take a hiatus? Is that how you pronounce that word? Lately, I've started doubting myself a lot more than before about whether I'm pronouncing certain words correctly. Okay, there was something else I meant to mention before this, and now I have forgotten. Or maybe I can mention it after. I remember what it is. Okay, so I considered going on a hiatus, or even asking myself, like, was it a mistake? Was it a mistake for me to begin streaming at this point? Should I have debuted later? And my answer, so right now, so far my answers to both of those questions have been leaning towards no. No, I should not stop streaming, and no, I should have not debuted later. Like, I debuted at an alright time. And here's my rationale on both of those counts. I think it comes down to this. I think that as much as it might be easy to feel embarrassed, or to blame myself for everything that's happened, I think that it just happened the way it had to happen. Because look at it this way. The only reason I'm having these thoughts and these realizations right now is because I started streaming and ran into these unprecedented challenges. If I had not begun, if I had not debuted and sort of began being sort of immersed into these pressures, into this environment, I never would have known that I had this problem in the first place. And I would like to say that, to my credit, I'm going to be upfront and say that for months, if not years, probably more like years, for years before I debuted, one of my main fears and concerns about streaming is that, knowing myself and my personal history, that once I started streaming, that my mental health would break down, and I would kind of make a fool out of myself. Even if nobody, even if people weren't saying like really bad things about me, or anything like that, a lot of it is just a matter of sort of personal integrity and dignity. So it was a fear of mine that I'd start streaming, and then I wouldn't be able to keep up with the pressure, and I wouldn't be able to sort of maintain my image. And that was definitely one of the main reasons it took me 2 years to debut. I waited, I decided to wait until a time when I felt like, well, maybe not then my mental health is perfect necessarily, but it was good enough that I could at least control my image and control myself, and stay in control, and not come off as menhera or anything like that. Honestly, Like one of my worst fears in life is becoming a lolcow. If you know what that is, that would be one of my worst nightmares come true. I try to do everything in my power to avoid an outcome like that. I see that being sort of like the worst case scenario of me being a Manera girl and not being able to control my self-presentation. I really hope it doesn't come to that. I'm going to do everything in my power to prevent that. But yeah, and relatable. You have the same fear, Phi? Why? How would a biology VTuber become a lolcow? It seems less likely than for a philosopher VTuber too, because like philosopher VTubers, as part of our trade, I feel like we're more likely to speak on things like politics that would land us in hot water, relative to a STEM VTuber. But yeah, I'm curious as to what part of that you find relatable. It's nice to know I'm in good company though. But yeah, so I don't think that I can be, what's the word? Apa. Oh, hi Apa. I haven't seen you in a couple streams. Nice to see you here. Hope you've been doing well. Everyone can become a lolcow. That's probably, you're probably right. I think you're onto something. I think that yeah, it is something that is sort of like theoretically possible for every human being. But yeah, I suppose that with my particular background and things like that, it's something that I'm especially afraid of. Sai says, I think the fear is just defensive, right? The fear of lolcowdom is more like self-policing. This term is new to me. Fear of lolcowdom is more like self-policing. Yeah, I think that's right. That those who have this fear would probably be more inclined to self-police more strictly, more strongly. I can say that for me, it certainly comes from a pattern of negative experiences in the past, and this sort of I don't want to say a bias, but yeah, a belief that or a sense that it is easy for me to be sort of like misinterpreted by others, and then to be sort of treated as like not just because being a lolcow isn't just about like being misinterpreted by others. It's like in response to you, Leon, I'm a little surprised you haven't heard of the term, but yeah, a lolcow is a sort of a what's the an unsympathetic internet figure whom you can milk for lols. Hence the term lolcow. I don't want to. I don't want to sort of name drop possible examples of lolcows. I'd rather avoid that, because I am not the kind of person that has any interest in laughing at lolcows. I find that very sad and mean-spirited. I'm not into that at all. Yeah, but a lolcow is like someone basically a widely accepted target of mockery and derision, and it is often the case that they have like little self-awareness, right? Like they don't know why they're being laughed at. They might not even in every case understand why that or are aware that they're being laughed at, and it's not that they're playing up sort of mockable behavior on purpose to try to get attention. They're actually being completely sincere and in sort of their personal brand of weirdness, and the internet, especially the darker corners of the internet, sees this and finds this sort of like an acceptable target of mockery. I think I am not. I think it's possible to explain this better than I am right now. Kai says, I used to be in the crowd that would kind of gawk at lolcows, though I tried to pretend I was better because I just observed and never actually engaged with any of them. Not the best period of my life. That's a very fair and I want to say mature reflection on your part, Kai. I think it's very mature of you to acknowledge that about yourself, that wasn't, you feel that wasn't the best period of your life. But I would, you know, emphasize the fact that, like, you know, you could have joined in on maybe with some of the other people you knew at not only gawking at the lolcow, but you know, actively participating in mocking them, and but you didn't. Charis. My favorite philosopher died a lolcow. Yeah, hashtag justice for Kierkegaard. Charis and I were talking about this a while ago in voice call. Like, Kierkegaard was like, because I studied a bit of Kierkegaard in university, and like one of the main things I remember about him was that, like, he was kind of like, he was a trailblazer, an intellectual trailblazer of his time, right? So he would like propose and write about new ideas that kind of rejected the status quo and were controversial for their time. And he one of the things I think like one of the outcomes was there was this one magazine back in the day in Denmark, which is, if I recall correctly, that's where he was from, that ran a popular like a periodical, like philosophy periodical or something like that. I think like he I can't remember the exact story, but basically it ended with the magazine sort of writing, like publishing an article making fun of him, which is so cruel, right? That is unbelievably cruel. And this like affected his PR, because it affected his public reputation, because like this was a popular and widely read magazine, I guess. And so so, you know, people read it and they were like, you know, wow, this is like Kierkegaard guy is like, and the impact was like included stuff like he would walk down the street and like school children would like throw rocks at him. They would stone him, and it's so sad because he was like, my soul is 2,000 years old, but I was sleeping for most of the most of the last 2,000 years. So it's not like I knew Kierkegaard personally, but you know, based on what he wrote and his philosophy, it sounds like he was, you know, a good man, a decent person. It doesn't sound to me at all like he deserved any of that. I think you'd be hard pressed to argue that many people do. And so that is just absolutely a tragic tale, how Kierkegaard's life went. And you know, honestly, while we're on the topic, I've been thinking lately about how to me it feels as though a lot of philosophers don't really have happy endings. They've had sort of a lot of times difficult and lonely lives, and I feel like there's probably a lot that you could explore there as to sort of why that is and what that implies for maybe any philosophers who are alive and operating today, and if they're also VTubers, what that means for us. One other example I'm thinking of is like Nietzsche, and how, if I recall correctly, he ended his life in an insane asylum. And then to make matters worse, I'm pretty sure that after he died, his like sister, who was like a Nazi, like what's the word? She not twisted, but like kind of. There is a word. I have a word, and I just can't think of it right now. Maybe like his work was like appropriated by his sister, and kind of like now I'm forgetting the word again. It's like his work was twisted by his own sister after his death, and he died in like in an insane asylum, and that's like a pretty undignified way to go. Yeah, I don't want to dwell on that too much. I think we can save that discussion for another time. I would be interested in hearing other people's input on that, but yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Yeah, like what happened to Kierkegaard? I think you can probably find some modern day parallels for that. You know, it says a lot about how our society, about how some of these things they don't change a whole lot, and they, you know, repeat themselves even after hundreds of years have passed. Darn, even the kids read that stuff. No, I think that's a joke, but just I'm pretty sure it's more like that is a funny idea, like, you know, like small, like school children, like literal like elementary school kids, like reading this like adult, like this like magazine, this like serious like political and philosophical magazine meant for adults. Yeah, I think it's more like just like the kids, like it's like you know how in Naruto, like the kids in Naruto's age don't know that he's the host of QB, but they or Kurama is his name, and like they don't know, but they just see all the adults around him around like mistreating him, and you know, they're kids, so like, you know, monkey see monkey do, and you know, there's like not really a deeper reason behind it than that. It's probably the same deal here. Like the kids in Denmark saw the adults like talking smack about Kierkegaard, and that gave them implicit permission to do the same, which I think is also a disturbing idea in and of itself. It just really shows how important it is for for us as adults to try to be a good role models for those around us, particularly children who are so impressionable and who have their whole lives ahead of them. Exploited, not my word, but yeah, that's not quite what I was going for either. I think misappropriation works. I've got dinner to make, swung by to say hello. Enjoy the rest of your day / evening. Okay, thanks for coming, Kai. I hope you enjoy your dinner. So anyway, we ended up going on a long tangent about Kierkegaard, thanks to Charis, who I feel like has left now. So I am not sure if he even picked up everything I said about his Oshi, which is okay. I think he already heard it from me when we spoke in private the other time. Anyway, I was talking about lolcows, and my fear of being a lolcow, which I see as being sort of worst case scenario, like extrapolation of my inability to, not inability, but you know, my inability to fully self-regulate. We'll go with that. But I decided, yeah, but I've decided, first of all, not to stop streaming because, if I did, I feel like I would be running away from my problems. I feel like that would actually be the easy thing to do, to just say like, I'm too scared of all the possibilities here, so I'm just going to if I stop streaming, I'm basically, what I'm doing is I am closing down the number of, you know, possibilities out there. Like, sure, I won't be able to grow and, you know, have fun, but I also it's like I won't be able to get hurt either. So I'm just it's the safe option. But the problem is I've already been alone for so many years already. I've waited at least 2 years to debut and to start streaming, and during that time I wasn't really talking to anyone. And at this point, I feel like going back to being alone wouldn't actually be helpful for me. It's not what I need. Honestly, I feel like over the last August, September, yeah, 4 months or so, ever since I started sort of like reaching out to and meeting people within the VTubing community finally, I've grown as a person arguably as much or even more than I had in maybe the 2 or 3 years prior. And I think that's just a testament to how much easier it is to grow and progress when you are being actively exposed to other voices and other perspectives who, will hopefully be not only oppose you when you're wrong, but also do so compassionately and not withdraw their sort of like respect and understanding of you in that process. So if I were to stop streaming now and go back to kind of just keeping to myself, I would be losing out on a lot of growth opportunities. So I think that now my instinct is that this is the way to go forward, and that yeah. Another thing that I should mention is that, or that I would like to mention, is that you may notice that I'm speaking a bit slowly in this today in this stream. That is because so I've decided to continue streaming for now, but with a few I guess conditions. And one of those conditions is that it is possible for me to control. I'll say it this way. I have at least a partial degree of control over my anxiety, but it takes a lot of active effort. So right now, how I am achieving that is by talking slowly, trying to be a bit introspective and choosing my words carefully, which it might sound almost like I am sort of being fake and too calculated, but I just find that if I let my guard down and I start to be more spontaneous, what happens is that the adrenaline kicks in and I start losing control. So this is my temporary compromise, my workaround for how I will continue streaming while managing my mental health and not not sort of fumbling my public image. It does mean that for the time being, it'll be hard for me to be maybe spontaneous or energetic on stream. I hope you can understand that. I think that part of the reason that my anxiety got so bad in the first place, aside from sort of like personal and behind the scenes issues, is just seeing that my channel wasn't always doing as well as I wanted, either when it comes to while I was streaming or after my streams ended, looking at the numbers and such. Because of the way I was raised and sort of my background, it was hard. I would see things like that and start to take it very personally, more than I should. I didn't really have the healthiest mindset about it. And where was I going with this? So managing my anxiety. Now I think I actually forgot where I was going with this. So unfortunately, I've been finding that one of the outcomes of one of the effects of having these mental health issues is it really does, you know, I hate to say it, but it really does affect my cognition, and arguably it might mean that I can't be as much of a philosopher as I want to be. That's sort of where that ends. Because sometimes I on stream, this includes on stream as well, sometimes I will begin a thought, I will begin a sentence, and then midway I will stop, I will forget what I was saying, and like maybe like restart the sentence or something like that. Or alternatively, I have this idea that I'm trying to get at, that I'm trying to express, and I just can't quite connect the dots. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like if you were driving a car and then like in the middle of the street, before you even reach your destination, you like got out of the car and left. It feels a little like that. Like there's something I know I'm trying to say, I cannot convert my sort of inner abstract ideas into like language, which is a more concrete medium that is used to you know, to help other people understand what I mean, because I cannot sort of like I can't like telepathically like project my abstract ideas into other people's brains. So yeah, I feel like because of all that, I don't know if I've definitely not been doing as much philosophy on stream as I think I would like to, and should I? Okay, I forgot what I was going to say mid-sentence again. I'm so sorry. This is honestly I guess I just feel like, and it's not like, I remember now, thank goodness. Yeah, so one of my fears is basically not being entertaining enough, because I know that there's a lot of there's a lot of pressure and high standards within the VTubing community around what makes for a good VTuber, or a good entertainer. At least that's how I've seen it. You know, because there's so much competition out there, the bar is really high, and you know, if you expect to have people watch you, you need to sort of like clear these certain bars and be, you know, you got to be like charismatic, you know, in addition to sort of being talented and like all kinds of things. And if you're not entertaining enough, then you can't really expect to blow up and get big. And I guess that's something that hasn't really been helping with my anxiety, because sometimes on stream, I would, you know, think, oh, I have to say something right now. If I would go too long without talking, you know, people might get bored and leave my stream, which it's now something I recognize to be too harsh. I was just being too hard on myself, because that's, you know, like I shouldn't care about that much about what other people think. I should try to do what works for me, right? Yeah, so I would worry that, oh, I'm not saying enough right now, and then I would force myself to say something, and then because I forced myself to say something instead of it coming naturally, a lot of the time, like, it kind of like came out wrong, and I would end up feeling even worse and feeling even more dissatisfied. Can't judge you. I can't even start to form a sentence. you and me, Tara, we share a common struggle right now. See, thanks for showing solidarity with me, guys. I really appreciate it. Penbu says, I appreciate you opening up about this, and I'm glad to hear you're facing your problems head on. Don't worry about doing what's best for you. Your real fans will support you all the way. Yeah, that brings to mind what someone important to me has said to me on multiple occasions, that, you know, in times like these, you'll know who your real friends are. And if that person is still in chat, I hope oh, now I don't know, once again, I don't know how to say this. I hope they like know how much of an impact, like a positive impact, they've had on me by saying this, because it's something I've tried to take to heart, even if I haven't done a good job at expressing that in the past. So our uptime is roughly exactly an hour. Maybe now would be a good time to finally move on to the philosophy I promised. Let me just quickly let me just take like around a minute to go over my notes and see if there's anything that I should say right now that would make sense to say right now before moving on. Because my philosophy of justice wasn't the only thing I wanted to talk about today. In general, I foresee it being rare that I will ever dedicate an entire chatting stream to just a single topic. Like not so in that way, I may be a bit different from my senpai Charis because he's definitely the type who to do deep dives on single topics, and that's which I find really cool, by the way. That's not me. So it's for me, it's likely that in any one given chatting stream, even if there is sort of one major topic I want to cover during that stream, that I'll end up sort of discussing a variety of things that are hopefully, you know, most of them will hopefully mostly be sort of interesting and relevant in some way. But anyway, I'm still looking. I'll let you in on something that you might find a little interesting. I find it interesting. So one of my grounding techniques, if you yourself have struggled with mental health issues and have gone to therapy, you might be familiar with the terminology grounding techniques. But basically, lately I've been finding that one of mine, or maybe even my main one, is just to repeat to myself in my mind the mantra, I'm justice incarnate. I find that wherever I am in that moment, if that helps me sort of reconnect with my goals and my real self, because who I am when my anxiety is high and when I'm stressed is not my real self, and certainly not my best self, right? I hope you would agree. There is a lot of debate out there related to the issue of trauma and mental illness on sort of, is trauma, an excuse for things, which is a topic that I have a lot to say about, but that I hesitate to get into right now. But it is one I want to talk more about at some point in the future. Basically, who I am, or sort of how I seem when I'm really stressed out is not really. I would argue that in my view, that's it doesn't reflect my real self, and I hope that other people can be understanding of what I am. You know, be understanding of that. No, that's. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the ethics of. I'm gonna try to avoid getting too much into the ethics of trauma today, because that's a huge topic in and of itself, and I don't want to get into that. But I'll say this much. So when it comes to the streams I have done so far, because when I say that, oh, like who I am in that moment, or you know, who I am in under those circumstances isn't my real self, of course it begs the question, okay, so what is your real self? And looking at my existing streams, I would say that the streams that you know, reflect me the best, like my opinion on, like, you know, which streams. Now I'm like repeating myself too much, because like I think the longer I stream, the more, sometimes the longer I stream, the more you know, worn out and anxious I get. But so streams that represent me the best, I would put on that list my debut stream, first of all. You might be surprised to hear that, because you might, some people might think, oh, but it was your debut stream. Weren't you really nervous, you know, for that stream? And the answer is, actually no. At least in my case. And I think it really comes down to the fact that I was pretty much planning out what to say for 2 years. So that helped. And I think I was just so physically tired on that day that it wasn't even possible for me to be anxious. So that ended up being a bit of a blessing in disguise. And then yeah, I mean, speaking of my debut, something that really didn't help. I want to take back that phrasing. I think that sounds too harsh. Speaking of my debut, a fact about my debut is that okay, well, I took back that phrasing and now I don't know what to say instead. Something that didn't help, I guess, was the fact that pre-debut, 95% of my thoughts were dedicated to just finishing my art, working on my model, basically finishing the art and doing the rig, and the majority of my mental energy was devoted to just accomplishing that task. Ideally, if, you know, sort of things were easier for me, ideally I would have spent more of that mental energy on thinking about other topics as well, other things like so exactly what kind of content am I going to put out after my debut? You know, thinking about my branding in more detail, because I thought that I would just you know, call myself an idle philosopher, and sort of like that would just kind of like do all the work for me. And my experience so far is that there's more to it than that. It's not that simple, and I think this is something I'll revisit maybe later in the stream. But yeah, so my approach was just like, I will, as long, all I really have to do is to just finish my model and finish my art. If I do that and I debut, I've won. I've won, and then I don't really have to worry about nearly as much after that. I just have to debut, and that's like all I really have to worry about, and then the rest will come naturally. Which, in hindsight, I guess was a little naive or misguided, because that I don't think that that's what happened. I think that I didn't have a good idea of sort of what I didn't have a clear enough idea of what games I would play or what I would talk about after my debut, and I realized that now. What does her name say? JR7958. Do you mind if I call you Junior? Maybe. I don't know if I have no idea if that's a nickname that you would like. But if not, I'll call you JR. Speaking of mantras, I used to recite the Litany Against Fear from Dune to myself when my anxiety was at its worst. The Litany Against Fear. I'm not familiar with Dune, but at least one other person here in my chat should be. Yeah, I would be curious to learn more about what relationship that has with helping with anxiety. But yeah, in general, I think that it's common to sort of have a mantra that you recite as a grounding technique, and everybody kind of just has to find theirs. Sounds like someone needs to watch the Dune movies. I don't. Why do I have to watch the Dune movies to find that out? Why can't you just give me the Cliff's Notes version? So I didn't have enough of an idea pre-debut as to what I wanted to do post-debut, and that I have that mantra, and another thing, something. I think I will try to make this the last thing the last sort of like little tidbit I talk about before moving on to the philosophy of justice. Something I felt over the last few weeks is tested. I've been feeling tested over the last 2 weeks, and in a way that I'm sure that you can imagine how this is, considering that basically for 2 years I was mostly keeping to myself, not talking to others, and hence there being a lot less external pressure. Not that there was zero pressure, but a lot of the pressure was just from me pressuring myself. A bit corny, but having it ready to go helped take my mind off anxiety a bit. I see. Maybe I could Google the Litany Against Fear later. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me, and when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear is gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain. I really like that. I think that's a very good reflection on sort of how, what we can do about fear, how we can prevent fear from taking over us. It's a slightly different approach from me reminding myself that I'm justice incarnate, but I do like that. Anyway, I've been feeling tested, and I imagine you can see how that is, considering I am now that I'm streaming, I'm around more people, hearing from more people, and just a greater number of environmental pressures have entered the mix, and I found that one thing that is kind of a double-edged sword is You know, this is something I just realized that this is something that I could talk about later, because it also relates equally or even more to my one of the other topics I want to talk about. So I think I actually will save this part for later. I'll end this off by saying this. On the topic of the title of Justice Incarnate, I'm gonna let you in on something. Sometimes I question if I'm actually a good person, and I'm not sure that I am. And it's not always something I'm confident in. You may be surprised to hear this. You may also wonder, if you're not a good person, what makes you Justice Incarnate? And my answer to that is basically my commitment to growing and improving as a person. So, you know, regardless of okay, this is going to be an idea that's very challenging for me to convey, given my current mental state. But basically, I believe that in life, it's more about where you're headed than where you're going. Or at least that's something I've believed so far. Other people might disagree. Because I think we live in a world where people do a lot of judging on people in their out of context, sort of based on one frozen moment in time. And when was sort of without thinking of, so where did this person come from, and, you know, what is their potential, you know, what might this person become in the future. So for example, when it comes to me, that might take the form of, you know, watching one of my streams when I'm, you know, when my anxiety is high, I'm not really able to be my best self, and just assuming, oh well, that's all that Faire is. She's nothing more than this. My mind is, you know, made up. That's one of my fears. And yeah, so if anything makes me worthy of calling myself Justice Incarnate, I think that, like, maybe, well, two things. One, I am extremely committed to justice, no, that's the second thing. I'm very committed to self-growth and self-improvement, as much as, you know, like, probably just as much as, you know, anyone else I know. And I really value the idea of becoming the best version of myself, even if I'm not that person yet. And I think that even if I'm not perfect right now, or, you know, perfect, I don't know if perfect is the right word here, but the important thing is that that is my trajectory, that I'm living my life in such a way that I am improving by leaps and bounds all the time. And sure enough, I'm not sure how much I should say on this. Maybe I will talk about it because it is interesting, if a bit personal. I used to be. I'm deliberating right now, because I've been going on and on about this for longer than I thought, which is something that seems to be happening in every chatting stream so far, and I don't like it. And it is because of my anxiety. It's not a conscious choice. I used to, like, have no friends. I used to have not know how to make friends, and I used to have a severe shortage of social skills and emotional skills and personal skills. And in light of that fact, I've come a really, really long way in the last 5 or 10 years. To the point where I hope that I can be forgiven for thinking as of late, at least shortly before my debut, that yes, I am I'm mentally healthy enough to stream now. It's just because it came from such a dark place that in contrast with that, I have improved a lot. If you compare me to my own past self, there's been a lot of change. But it's just that debuting lately or recently and meeting so many new and incredible people lately has basically revealed to me how much further I can grow and improve. And I've begun thinking of and finding clues as to what I need to work on and how I might go about achieving that. And all I can say is that in the meantime, for those of you who are here, is thank you so much for your patience, and thank you for believing me. Once again, I want to reiterate that honestly, this isn't my final form. I think there's a lot. I have a lot of growing still to do. I have a lot of room to grow and improve, and because this isn't my final form, it's maybe a little bit unfair. It seems to me a bit unfair to my fans that you just kind of have to put up with this incomplete version of me. And absolutely nobody is obligated to do that. I'm not entitled to have fans. And in light of that, for those of you who I'm guessing or I'm hoping that you do believe in me, you do trust me and see my potential, know that I really cherish and treasure that faith in me. I plan to work hard and do all that I can to ensure that your trust in me is not rewarded and not wasted, and to continue to earn trust. And but yeah, I've already been through so much that I on the whole I am hopeful and optimistic that I will do this thing. I will do this thing, and even if it takes a while. Speaking of time, you may or may not be wondering why I'm not just talking about all of this with my therapist instead, or at least that's sort of a question that I've been faced with before. Unfortunately, my therapist's next availability is in January. He's gotten really popular lately this year. And on the one hand, I'm really happy for him that he's getting more work, but on the other hand, it's less convenient for me personally. So one of the reasons I wanted to be open about this on stream was because I realized, well, if his next availability is in January, that's a while from now. I can't just simply sit here and wait and pretend like nothing's wrong from now until January. So I need to sort of take matters into my own hands, by things like finding my own grounding techniques and things like that. Charis, I believe I'm reading that correctly. All it takes is a consistent daily effort. I think you'll be fine. Yeah. I think so too. I think daily consistency is quintessential to sort of any goal that you have involving sort of, you know, improving yourself, even if it's something maybe less personal and more like improving your skill at you know, art or music or like gaming, which are things I have experience with. So I think you're right. Super Saiyans here? No, please no. I don't want to be yoked out. No, who in Tales of Exilia? Who's it that says like, I don't think you want that after Tipo says yoked out Bazonga? Was that Leia who says like, I don't think you want that, Mila? Yeah, I think it will take yeah, I'll try to work hard every day. Thanks for that comment. We're here for the incomplete because it means we can watch you grow and be there for it. That's a really sweet comment, Penbu. It really it actually tickles my heart when you say that. Tara says, "Oh, true. Getting mental health during this time is basically impossible. You always take vacation. Female Saiyans aren't too buff. I also just don't really like the aesthetic of, you know, Super Saiyans. I mean, I also like my dark hair. I don't want to have spiky blonde hair. No thanks. It's it's not quite my cup of tea. I do also want to mention, before as we transition to the next topic, shout out to Penbu for helping me fix my stream audio last night over Discord. How out of curiosity, how do I all sound to you today, by the way? Because I put basically I've gotten a couple of criticisms as to my stream audio. Not like they were like constructive criticisms. Like nobody said like, oh, your audio is like horrible and you should stop streaming or anything like that. They were like polite about it. That my mic was my mic volume was peaking. And I for the record, I agreed that I wasn't quite happy with it. I just like I said, I've been going through a lot of anxiety, not really had a lot of energy. And so I just sort of didn't really have the time and the capacity to deal with it and look into it on my own. So I was conferring with Penbu about this, and he very kindly offered to sort of like walk me through how to solve the problem. So in the end, I've put I've turned on an equalizer and a compressor for my mic. That's like the mic input. That's the main difference between now and before. So feel free to let me know if my audio sounds different or better than it has in my past streams so far. Fun fact, before I started streaming today, I was actually rehearsing Ave Maria, mostly to troubleshoot any potential audio issues, like any peaking that still existed. And I actually found that it was peaking really badly at the start. Let me show you how what it was like at the start, because I ended up making a pretty funny recording, I think. So listen to this. Yeah, so I realized, oh shit, the peaking gets bad when I hit high notes well above my chest register. So I ended up singing up to a C6. That was a 2-octave scale in the clip you just heard there, and yeah, and then so I anyway, in the end, you know what I had to do? I actually had to reduce the high end like 12 decibels. That more than anything helped with the peaking. It's like not an issue. It's way less of an issue when I'm just speaking at a normal volume like this, but when I'm singing, it's especially singing loudly or singing high notes, the issue sort of arises and comes into play. and I won't be so quick to blame my mic or OBS or anything like this like that for this, because it's possible that it's just like a skill issue, and I'm just not singing with a right technique, and that's why it sounds this way. Because I'm not I'm not really a formally trained singer, right? I'm like at least 50% self-taught, so that did strike me as a possibility. Maybe I just need to, it's, skill issue. Okay, but hear me out. It would be funny. It would be funny for you. I don't think it would be as enjoyable for me. Penbu says it was a bit noticeably compressed during the singing bit, but it already sounds much better than before. I see. So compressed, it was you basically you're saying that it was noticeable that the filters were sort of like working on and altering my voice. But I'm glad to hear it was much better than before. Yeah, it turns out that I actually had a compressor on my mic input before I debuted. It was the whole it was sort of like a holdover from when I did practice streams a year ago, and then I turned it off because I found that the compressor, I didn't turn my background music back on yet. I found that it was making my voice too quiet, but then I learned through last night's lesson, I learned that I didn't know how to use a compressor properly. So that's fixed now. Anyway, philosophy. I took way too long talking about my mental health. It's weird. The uptime is literally so it's literally like we've been up for 90 minutes, and it's like halfway. It's already halfway through the stream. I told myself, okay, I should talk about this for like half an hour at most, and then like half an hour ago I said I would start talking about philosophy, and then like I did it. So this is the kind of thing that I don't want to happen when I'm streaming, but it's very hard for me to control with things being what they are right now, because I don't want people to just get the wrong impression from my streams, and that's something I'll go into later more if I have time, because it's something else I wanted to talk about. Penbu, yeah, but I also know what to look for, so I don't know what untrained ears would hear. You can probably compensate by lowering the threshold, but also lowering the ratio. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that gives me an idea for what I could experiment with maybe for next stream. VTubers and tangents are inevitable. You're in good company. I don't know if they're inevitable. I think some streamers are more organized than others, and I was going to say by some stream. I was about to say by some streamers. I was thinking of like, I'm really just thinking about Axaeon, and that probably honestly, I think that has a lot to do with how he doesn't really do dedicated just chatting streams. So it's like not really a fair comparison to the rest of us. And then I actually did remember a time when he did go on a tangent, and then he kind of like got frustrated at chat for it. And he threw utility kind of under the bus, but that's you had to be you had to be there. So, the philosophy of justice. I you know what I hate? I did have it in mind to prepare some slides for this, and I didn't, because like I intended to. I was like, I think my last few chatting streams have been awkward in how like sometimes I would go stretches of time just sort of talking, and there would just be an empty screen behind me, and that's not really appealing, especially to people who were maybe just joining for the first time. But I didn't have time this morning. I prioritized working on my audio instead. So maybe I'll just put something here. Yeah. Maybe I'll just put some like text on the screen right now through OBS, just so, especially so to anyone who is like scrolling through the VOD, it helps them find the point where I start talking about this much more easily. So I'll just do Why? I hope... No, I should do... Sorry, what is... I'm kind of scared that once I close this menu, the text is going to turn out to be like absolutely freaking huge or something like that, and I'll have to resize it. Color, no, I don't want... Color should not be white because my whiteboard is white. Center. I assume you all can see this. How do I... do I have to actually press enter in the input itself for it to like be 2 lines? Because me just resizing this isn't working the way that it would in, say, like Clip Studio Paint. Okay, that's better. Okay. Every time I click on a filter in OBS, this kept happening during my Xenoblade X stream last week. Oh, and by the way, I would put my most recent Xenoblade X stream on the list of streams that I think represent me pretty well, and that represent me well, and I think like but I also kept accidentally turning off my tiara during it because I was updating the text. So here we are. What is justice? I don't know if this is... I'm trying to... My OCD is telling me to try to center this better. I think that's pretty good. I mean, the title of the stream is just chatting, and here you are just chatting, so I think you're on schedule. Yeah, thanks for being charitable about that. I guess like it's the trauma brainworms. Like I fear that like not everyone is, and I feel pressured to live up to you know, just different expectations. We can see 1 line of text. Yes, there's no wrapping. Yeah. Man, I love Xenoblade. Yeah, I think I first saw you, Scoot, during the first episode of 90 Days Delightful. Yeah, Xenoblade is great. I actually have something small to say about Xenoblade later on near end of stream. But first, what is justice? So ideally, I would have prepared a diagram for this, and I still haven't. And it feels really bad because I already described the diagram in my debut stream. So you would think that the logical sort of like follow-up to that or upgrade is to actually, you know, have the diagram for the next time that I talked about it. And it still doesn't exist. So once again, I'm gonna have to ask you to imagine that we have a triangle on the screen. Instead of this text saying what is justice, it's there's a triangle, and there on each of the vertices is a word, and those words are objectivity, compassion, and action. And back during my debut stream, I pretty much said that much. I said that much and didn't really say much more because I wasn't ready to, and there was so much on the agenda that day. Today, I would like to take the chance to go into what each of those 3 sort of I can't find a word that I like for this. Not qualities, or you know, 3 attributes. I guess those 3 attributes. Maybe that's a fair word. And why I think that they are relevant to the concept of justice. Why I think that these are yeah, why these help define the concept of justice. I also just noticed that there's a 1 pixel line between the end of my body and the edge of the screen, and you can see a tiny hint of like the background when you're not supposed to, because my model isn't flush with the screen. So maybe can I? Okay, that's better. So we'll start with objectivity. And so it got dark in my room, and I can't see my notes properly, and this light is too far to reach. So why did these things have to happen to me? I can't even find where I wrote it. Why can't I find where I wrote about it? I know I wrote it down somewhere. You know what? I'm just gonna do this from memory now. Okay, so objectivity. That's the first one. That's the one we're gonna start off with, and that's the one I usually list first when I say out loud the 3 attributes: objectivity, compassion, and action. So objectivity here, basically, it refers to truth and knowledge and information, right? So the basic idea is that to be just, you have to be it's necessary to be as objective as you possibly can be as a subjective, human being, because I do think that humans are, subjective creatures, and while it may never be possible for any one of us to be, truly objective, because that would suggest that, to me, that suggests that we would have to be sort of like omniscient, like God or something, and we're not. Sort of, we only know, we don't know other people like we know ourselves, and it's difficult to be aware of our own biases and all that stuff. But it is possible for us to make an effort. But I think that we can make an effort to be more as objective as we can. Certainly more objective than we would be if we, weren't trying at all. And this is where a lot of our society trips up, because I think that we live in a society where, because a philosophical education or training is not so common, that there are a lot of people out there who are don't have training or experience in recognizing their own biases, and through that minimizing their subjectivity and maximizing and trying to sort of engage in objective mindset, in sort of like looking at reality, looking at what's in front of them as objectively, from sort of the perspective of like a dispassionate third-party observer, rather than someone who has skin in the game, rather than someone who has certain limited, experiences and beliefs. Sort of like looking at it almost like an angel from high above, and sort of like putting your own personal feelings and emotions by the wayside. Not to say that if you're a philosopher, you are a philosopher of justice, you can't have emotions at all. That's not what I would describe as justice, or something that's necessary. But it is important to be able, to be a good philosopher, and I would certainly say a philosopher of justice, because this is my definition. It is important to have the skill to recognize your own feelings and be aware, like, oh, okay, so hey, my feelings might be affecting my sort of my views and my opinions on this. So you don't have to eliminate those feelings, but at least as it's important to be. It's certainly helpful to be aware of where your biases might lie. And yeah, I've just defined objectivity. So how does so what does objectivity have to do with justice? I just sipped some water. So basically, what I'm going to argue is that justice it can only take place if you have truth. That the concept of justice is intrinsically linked with the abstract concept of truth. And why is that? We can look at the classic example of a criminal case in a courtroom, right? So let's say that there's a suspect on trial, and the judge is trying to figure out if this suspect, let's say it's like a guy, if he's innocent or guilty. And let's say that the judge, let's say that in this case, there was like the witnesses like weren't reliable and the evidence wasn't like conclusive. Like, how hard would it be to for the judge to make the right decision? Like, do you think that justice could reliably take place under those circumstances? Like, I would think not, right? I think that actually if the judge doesn't know what actually happened, then he kind of has to just guess blindly. I'm assuming the judge is like a man, but he just kind of has to guess blindly at like actually like what happened and like who's right and who's wrong. So basically, like, justice is you can only like deliver or administer justice when you actually know what the facts are and what happened, and hence the importance of objectivity. If you don't have the facts, or if you have like wrong information, if you think you have facts, I mean it's actually it's disinformation, the chances skyrocket that actually you will do the wrong thing. You will make an unjust decision. Like, again, a very obvious example being that if if the suspect is being framed, if all the evidence is fabricated and the witnesses are lying, then the wrong person is going to get sentenced. Hence, why I believe that objectivity and truth are such crucial elements of justice. And I, for one, feel like this is not something that is, sort of discussed or explored often enough in our society. I think this is something that is very much overlooked. And from there, if we accept the premise that justice, that if you don't know what, if you're not objective, if you don't have the facts and information, then you cannot carry out justice. Then a lot of things in our society become injustice under that sort of definition, with that premise, when they otherwise might not be, when people might not otherwise consider them to be. I am referring to and including things like slander, gossip, rumors. All those things involve not having the right information or the whole truth, but acting as if you do. If you talk about someone, if you say things about someone that aren't true, you know, do you think it's really fair to them to basically be spreading a false narrative about them? Is that just? And another related thing that's been on my mind today is even just like if you some more water. If you have a conflict with someone and you don't allow them, yeah, if there's a conflict between, you know, two people or multiple people, and, you know, someone doesn't get to actually tell their side of their story and speak their truth, and then everyone else just kind of just like, you know, assumes what their intentions are, I find that to be heavily unfair. I, for one, would absolutely consider that to be an injustice. And these things, you know, these things like, you know, slander, rumors, gossip, libel, not like, you know, stereotypes. I expect that some people will not consider those things to be, you know, particularly, you know, bad or, you know, unfair, or at least not on the same level as other things. At least not when you compare them to things that are more traditionally considered to be forms of injustice, like, you know, like killing and stealing, things like that. I for one, I would, if I had maybe to put a name to it, if that's something that helps, I would maybe call them injustices of information or something like that. Maybe I can come up with a better name for it. Maybe like injustices of whatever. I think I had something this morning, and now I've forgotten what it was. But yeah, you can feel free to tell me what you think about that so far, before or as I move on to the next section. Then I should mention this, but for reasons, today I learned of a court case where they were trying to determine who was responsible for a car accident. One of the drivers passed away. Yeah, I mean, the difficulty with that is like if someone who's involved in a sort of, you know, like a conflict, you know, passes away before they can, you know, speak their truth, then it may become, you know, it's possible that you'll never actually know. Because of the lack of information, you'll actually know sort of who is right and who is wrong, and therefore you'll never really be able to be sure as to whether you're delivering justice. It makes it hard in that way. Oh, sorry, that the comment was in two parts, and it continues. So the lawyers had to use experts and show the flaws in the other person's recollection to determine their story couldn't be factual. Oh, that's really interesting, and it's really something to be said about the power of truth and logic here. I think it's really great that the lawyers were able to, and the lawyers and experts were able to do that together, because otherwise the idea of an innocent dead person being framed because they were dead and therefore unable to defend themselves doesn't sit right with me. Even if they're dead, and you know, some would argue, well, you know, they're dead, so it doesn't really matter sort of what people say about them. Or I think that it instinctively, you know, I think something about that isn't right. Hello, very late today, but I am here. Oh, hi, Ari. I was just in the middle of talking about what I think justice is, and providing my definition of justice. I also sang at the very beginning of the stream, so if you like, once the stream has ended, feel free to go back and look for that. Same thing happened to Charis, only it was worse because he literally just missed it. Like, it was like 30 seconds after I finished singing, and he was like, hi, like, I was like, oh no, Charis. Yeah, so I've just talked about one of the attributes of justice, objectivity. I described what I think objectivity is, and basically why that is relevant to the carrying out of justice. And the next, Yeah, and the next attribute on the list is compassion. Oh, before that, I see Ari has put in another comment. This reminds me of the case where after a new pope ascending to the throne, he exhumed the body of the previous one and put him on trial with another guy puppeting his body. That's very macabre. That's the kind of I'm like kind of like I can't help but like kind of picture that, and it's like giving me shivers. I'll rewind to the start later then. Thanks for informing me. Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, it's a little awkward right now trying to do philosophy with all these mental health issues and these cognitive deficits. But I'm trying. I am like, by God, I am trying. Penbu says, so in that case, would you say then that justice requires a foundation in objective/absolute truth, and it wouldn't work with relative truth? Maybe. I would appreciate it if you I would like to see you how do I words? I'm afraid that I'm just coming off as too maybe sharp in my language right now, which I don't mean to do. It's just the anxiety and like stuff taking over. Right? It's not my intent. Please help me. Okay, this is I think this is what I want to say. Please help me by expanding on your definition of relative truth, because I have an idea of what you mean, but I would prefer to be absolutely clear of what you're getting at to prevent unnecessary miscommunication. Just sort of on a superficial level for now, I will say that I would just offer the caveat that there will be times in life that I think like objective or absolute truth is not always available, right? That's a standard that we can't always achieve. For instance, in that case that just got brought up of like a trial between two parties and then one of the parties is dead. And then in that case, like, we can't know what do we do when we don't know what happened. We're not sure what happened. I think that's something I'll try to get back to towards the end. If I forget, feel free to remind me. Yeah, don't be afraid to remind me. Popetry. I don't. That's so macabre. I don't want to think about it. It's so nasty. Ew. So moving on. The next attribute of justice is compassion, and I feel like this one. I could be wrong, but I feel like this one is sort of like a lot more obvious than the last one and might not require as much explanation. This attribute, out of the three, I've sort of like brought forth probably close. I could be wrong, but to me, it probably is the one that most closely matches this sort of the average person's or the conventional definition of justice, or sort of like or like injustice. Lack of this would be injustice. So compassion. Sorry about that. So since I laid out my definition of compassion or objectivity, I'll do the same for compassion. So what does compassion mean? Because that's a word that I think it has the word compassion to me has a very important meaning. I don't think that it's a concept that we discuss and really explore often enough in our society relative to how I think how useful it is and how key it is to just us living good lives. I think it is definitely underrated and underexplored. It is not, compassion is not the same thing as empathy. I think the word empathy is something that we do hear a lot in our in modern society, but compassion and empathy they're not the same thing. Empathy is there are many different definitions for empathy as well, but possible ones can include feeling what other people are feeling, or feeling sorry for them. It is. It's and you know, some people sort of like try to make distinctions between empathy and sympathy, but for now I think that we can go with that. Oh, and Penbu left some comments. Relative truth, as in what one person might view as true, might not be seen as true for another person given their frame of reference, and both would be considered valid, whereas absolute truth would hold only one frame of reference as objectively true. Hell yeah. Compassion, sympathy, and empathy are different. Yeah, I'm glad that resonates with you, Tara. So yeah, I'll take a quick break to talk from compassion to address the relative truth. Yeah, so my personal belief or understanding is that justice cannot be founded on subjective truth, on subjectivity, on relative truth, as you say. It does require a foundation in basically in as an objective of a truth as possible, knowing that that is, you know, sometimes an unrealistic standard, but we try. So for example, you mentioned you know, something that one person might view as true and another person, you know, might not agree since they have different frames of reference. So in that situation, for justice to sort of occur, both of those people, you know, if they're sort of like meeting each other and, you know, engaging with each other, both of those people would have to have a commitment to trying to get to know and interpret the other's you know, arguments and point of view to figure out sort of the one common truth that is between them. So you know, what is actually going on, and to just find like the one objective truth, like whatever like the Venn diagram is between their two divergent experiences. And I think that unless they do that, I think if they're each just going off of what they each personally believe, the likely scenario is that they would each be committing injustice. A lot, and that may come in the form of sort of like maybe, you know, insulting or attacking the other person. And we're going to, I think I'll try to come back to this and say more on that once I've spoken about compassion. So compassion is not the same thing as empathy. It's not something that I think we talk about often enough, and it's a shame. But so compassion is, if it's not empathy, if it's not just feeling sorry for other people, or feeling the same way as other people, or sort of agreeing with them, what is it? Compassion, I would define as having other people's best interests in mind, and in particular, being concerned, being troubled by their suffering, and having a desire to alleviate that suffering, using whatever means are realistically available to you. Penbu says, got it. Thanks for answering. Yeah, no problem. That was I think something that was like helpful to establish and really clarify. So yeah, if anyone has any disagreements, like, no, I actually think justice can be founded on subjectivity, I would be very curious to hear why you think that is. But this is what the last few years, this is where the last few years of philosophy have led me. So yes, compassion, having others' best interest in mind, you know, being troubled by their suffering, and having an authentic desire to alleviate that suffering. Already from here, we can come up with like a big list of things that are obviously discompassionate and therefore obviously unjust. Like, I think that like few people would be, you know, pressed to try to argue that, actually these things are morally okay. Then these sort of include the more classic examples are probably go-to examples of things that are unjust. Things like murder, assault, theft, like abuse, things like that. Especially a lot of things involving some sort of, physical or bodily harm. I think that if there was anything that we could all agree on as being unjust, it's stuff like that. So this is why I say that the compassion thing may be more obvious or self-explanatory than objectivity, and may not require sort of as much elaboration, but I will nevertheless make an effort to elaborate it on it as much as I can. So compassion. So I think that even if we don't all sort of are aware of the definition of compassion, I think that we at least the vast majority of us agree that there's a certain sort of category or list of acts that are discompassionate and unjust. But I want to expand. I want to go further from there. So that's where most people agree, and here's where I think that people start getting tripped up. So, and here's where I think the definition of compassion comes into the idea of compassion comes into play. So, compassion isn't just kind of like agreeing with other people, like empathy is. I'm not saying that's the dictionary definition of empathy. I just that's kind of like what I feel is like the working definition for a lot of people out there. It's like, I agree with this person and therefore I approve of whatever they do. Compassion doesn't mean agreeing with other people. It just means having their best interests in mind, whether or not you like them, whether or not you agree with them. And I will say now that compassion for me is strongly linked to the concept of unconditional love. Now, I am I also have a lot of strong feelings and beliefs about unconditional love that it's unfortunately it's yet another thing I won't be able to go into fully in this stream. I'll have to save it for another time. But basically, yeah. So compassion means you have similar to with unconditional love, you have respect for other people, no matter what. It doesn't mean that you can withdraw. There are no conditions under which you're justified in withdrawing and abandoning your basic respect for other people, no matter what they do, and no matter how little you like them. At least in principle. I'm gonna say right now that I recognize that it is very difficult for us as subjective, creatures to live up to this ideal. Even me, being aware of it and sort of espousing it, so. But yeah. And this is where people get tripped up, because they might say well, yeah, I'm being totally compassionate, I'm doing the right thing, and then I think that often when people people are sort of under the belief that they're doing the right thing, what they're actually doing is that they're doing what's right for them, what feels fair for them, and not fair for the other person. It might not be fair for everyone, it might not be fair for anyone but them. They're thinking really of their own self-interest or the interest of a certain group. They're not thinking of the universal interest. And I guess this does really relate a little bit to the last attribute, objectivity. It's sort of about a universal understanding, the kind of a universal view, and the greater good. It doesn't more so than sort of the priorities and needs of the individual. Not to say like individuals like don't matter. It's just like I think like broadly speaking, I guess maybe my definition of justice involves sort of balancing the needs of the individual and sort of the group. But yeah, so the reason it's not that compassion isn't important, but the reason that it's second after objectivity is because like I feel like you need to have like laid out and have a good understanding of what objectivity is before you can sort of like put this definition or understanding of compassion into practice. So basically, here's an example of what I think is injustice. If you you're walking down the street and you're going to like the corner store, and on the way there or while you're in the corner store, somebody accidentally steps on your foot and it hurts your foot and you get mad, so you retaliate by punching this person in the face. Does that strike you as just? Some people might argue yes, maybe not in that specific example, but there are other similar analogous situations in life that when they would argue like, yeah, this person hurt me, so now I can do whatever I want to them back. I think that that's unjust. I think that central to the realization of justice is the idea of proportionate retribution. That is, disproportionate retribution is sort of like when you dole out a punishment to someone that is way too harsh relative to the crime or wrongdoing that they committed, and more than that, I think that as a society we should be getting away from punishing people. I think that we need to think about getting away from the idea that justice about rewarding good people and punishing bad people, and making it about the individual. Like every individual is like either good or evil, and they all get their own like little individual either like a toy or lump of coal from Santa. I don't believe in that. I think that justice is more about us working collaboratively to make sure that the maximum amount of people are sort of being treated fairly. So there's a sort of like a collective aspect to it, and I also think that there's I guess to put it simply, I think that I think that I have a view. My view of justice is more sort of restorative than retributive, if those are terms that you've heard before, especially in the context of like the criminal justice system and the debate on that. I think that when you're looking to address injustice, it's important to consider if the punishment that you are considering is actually fair and appropriate, or if a punishment is even needed at all. Because I think that we should prioritize ways of dealing with conflicts with other people that I forgot what I was saying mid-sentence again. Okay, let me take a minute to sort of go backwards and start over. Compassion is basically so restorative and retributive. So alleviating, so best interest in mind and alleviating the others suffering. So I don't know if I can fully elaborate on this right now, but if nothing else, I can say that I think it's fair to say that if the goal that you have in mind, if your intent is actually to alleviate other people's suffering, like just people in general, as opposed to trying to looking to just either reward or punish them, your actions and your methods will look very different based on which one of those goals you have, and that's compassion. The way I see it, there are a lot of people out there whose definitions of justice or approaches to injustice are lacking in compassion, and an example would be like I guess earlier what was brought up earlier. I think there was a case study brought up earlier, even before the one about the car accident. Now I can't remember what it is. Maybe if I scroll up through the YouTube chat, not through OBS, I can find it. Oh, now I don't remember. I don't remember what I was thinking because I can't see anything that corresponds with the thought I had. Anyway, so yeah, I there's definitely, okay, I think maybe now I should just move on, but I think there's I'm almost certain there's more I could say on compassion. It's just my brain is cooked, but please let me know if what I've said so far about compassion is clear, and why I think it is relevant to justice. In the meantime, I'll move on to the last attribute. This one is probably thankfully it's probably the easiest to explain, and maybe not as deep as the others, which is why it's the last one to get mentioned. The last attribute is action, and I've been a little afraid that the word action is too vague, and maybe I should substitute it with something else that gets across a similar meaning but is less sort of ambiguous. Maybe something like goal orientedness. Because what I say is what I mean by action is in the sense of contrasting it with sort of passivity. Penbu says, I think what you said makes sense, and I think I align with it. Okay, that's great to know. Yeah, so action or activity as it contrasts, as it differs from passivity. So here's what I found to be another common issue with people's approaches to justice. Let's say, for example, we hear about the the court case about like the car accident, and one person died, and because of that they were about to get slandered in death, and we hear about this and something like this about such a tragic event, and we're like, oh, that's so sad, and then we give our thoughts and prayers, and then we don't do anything else about it. Or actually, maybe especially if we don't even say anything about it, and we just we kind of come across it and then we do nothing. Is that just? I would argue that it's not. I think that to carry out justice, you actually have to have some sort of meaningful impact in the real world. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to solve, problems all by yourself, but you do have to do something. Especially in I don't want to get into too many. I'll try to avoid getting into too many specifics, but especially in the notorious cases of, let's say, certain, tragedies happening, and then certain, people, and including, politicians, say like, they offer their thoughts and prayers. Like, we send you our thoughts and prayers, and then they don't even really do anything besides just say that, and it's all performative. It's all just a smokescreen, but they're not actually doing anything to help. They're not making any sort of like tangible contribution to change whatever it is that they supposedly object to. That's injustice, and unlike other forms of injustice, such as slander or murder, it's not a direct act of injustice, but it's more injustice through permitting permitting other acts of injustice to happen, abiding by acts of injustice. It's like an injustice of negligence, basically. Or for example, if someone in your family, someone that child in your family, or you somehow, it comes to your attention that they're being abused, or even you just suspect that they might be being abused, and you don't act on this information. You just let it happen. You're like, well, that's kind of sad, but also like I'm not like bothered enough to do anything about it. That's injustice. Like, I think that hopefully that's something that, especially in the 21st century, that most people could agree on. And yeah, what was I going to say? That's something we can agree on. Active action. Yeah, so I think the distinction, sort of what I'm getting at is that just having good intentions is kind of useless unless you convert those intentions into actions that lead to real world change. And this is important because I think that a lot of what goes on in the world is that I do think that most people out there, like the majority of people out there, have good intentions. They just really don't know what to do about it, how to convert their intentions into actions, and sort of what to do about the issues around them, which sort of in its worst form can lead to sort of like apathy. Like, I don't think I can do anything anyway, so I'm just like not gonna bother, I'm not gonna think about it, I'm not gonna try. And I think that's a shame. And I think if more people tried, due to sort of like, strength in numbers and every drop in the bucket and that kind of, that kind of philosophy, that I think that is how change happens. If only more people believed in that. And then all this is to sort of like place, sort of emphasize the importance of actually, turning. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say again. But yeah, turning sort of your feelings and your intentions into actual decisions and actions. And I I don't know. I don't know if I need to elaborate on it more than that at the moment. I think I'm getting tired. I think I'm getting into this mode where like I myself am feeling tired and confused, so I keep repeating myself because I'm worried. I'm worried that because I am confused that other people must be too, but it's really only myself that I'm not making sense to, and everyone else is fine. That's something that can happen to me when I'm not doing well cognitively. I think it's happening right now. So it may be best for me to end stream sooner rather than later. I think there was another big topic that I thought was like interesting that I will hope to cover today, but I think it is for the best if I save it for next time because it's a whole big thing of its own. I think you got your ideas across. You sound a little tired though. Oh yeah, that's good to know on both of those counts. Thanks, Ari. Tia heard herself in confusion. No, I'm not. I don't say that about me. Anyway, I should at least, before anything else, I should at least wrap up when it comes to this discussion of justice. So, this is my first time elaborating on my ideas like this in a public forum, and I guess just sort of like conveying them out loud in spoken word. So all in all, I do expect and anticipate that there will be sort of questions and and challenges and objections to sort of the ideas that I've laid out, because this is all still, I think, maybe a little rudimentary. These have not been sort of like time tested, right? I'm still a young philosopher, and this is just something I've come up on my own in my bedroom starting a few years ago. This is it's not had no opportunity to be stress tested yet. That's the term I was looking for, stress tested. Yeah, this has never been stress tested, so I anticipate that other people will have objections that I haven't that I haven't considered myself. So if you do, feel free to let me know. I would enjoy reading your thoughts, because at the end of the day, what I'm committed to most is of course doing justice, right? I think that justice, I think my definition of justice itself is like positive change in the real world. Or not just that. It's not just positive change in the real world. That's like only part of it. It's like it's like a system where everyone is being treated fairly, and with the attributes or parameters that the three that I've proposed: objectivity, compassion, and action. Those are the requirements that need to be in place for us to get a system where people are treated fairly. That's not. I'm pretty sure that I vaguely recall providing an even better definition of justice than that in my debut stream, and I am 100% blanking on what that might have been. Maybe I myself will have to check that later. But I think that's okay. Penbu says, yeah, no need to cram everything into one stream. You can always address it next time. Yeah, I guess it's just a thing with me. I feel like there's just so many things I want to get to and talk about, and it's a little frustrating, needing to save things for later. And I guess it's because I'm the kind of person where because of my background, I feel this need to represent myself in a certain way, and I hope to achieve that by sort of explaining things, So I do. I think right now I think that I'm glad that I did this stream, and I think that it went. Right now I'm thinking that it did well, but as usual, I find myself not really being able to form a final judgment on that until after the stream has ended and I get a chance to listen to the VOD and listen to myself, because in the moment it is hard to sort of to be objective. Yeah, because I'm kind of like in the moment. Before we end, I would like, if nothing else, to make the rest of the announcements that I need to make. That's like non-negotiable. My other discussion topics, they can once again wait for next time, but that has to get done. So without further ado, I have actually 3 announcements that I need to make. And for the first one, I'm gonna turn off this text. Bye text. I no longer need you. Fuck it. I'll just show my schedule. So, first of all, the first thing I want to talk about is my. Do you see this fan art here? It was provided by Grace from the Library of Alexandria, from Charis's community. She was also the artist who drew the last piece of fan art of me that I used for my schedule, which is also the first piece of fan art I ever got. She sent this in the other day, and I was so flattered that she made another one in so soon. It's been 2 weeks, right? Because I reused Grace's fan art once for last week's schedule, because no one else had drawn on anything else for me in the meantime, so I didn't have anything else to use. So I just figured, I'll just reuse it. I'm fine with that. Maybe she saw that. Maybe it's because she saw that I was reusing her artwork that she took it upon herself to just produce something fresh herself, and I'm really grateful for that. Not just for that, but how much effort that I can see that she put into this one, because it's got a lot more detail and looks a lot more like me. I'm especially impressed by the way that she did the braid, because those drawing braids isn't easy, even for someone like me, even at my level sometimes. So yeah, I really commend her, her putting all her effort and her whole heart into this. Charis, you're back! You keep coming back just after I've wrapped up the best parts, like singing and talking about the philosophy of my definition of justice. What is justice? You're not. I don't believe you're streaming today, so wait, because I'm just thinking of sort of what you're doing. I don't suppose you were here all this whole time and then just, probably not. But yeah, anyway, Grace drew this, and I love it. I just needed to put that out there. It's only right that I credit her, and yeah. Man, I love art. Me too. I'm definitely I drew my own model after all, so I definitely am a certified art lover and music lover. Yes, I miss that. Tara, always there to put a nice little caption on Charis's worst moments and shortcomings. Charis, no stream today. I was gone doing other things, and now I'm back. Oh, okay. Nice to have you back. In that case, I'm planning to end stream sooner rather than later. Hopefully then I will, hopefully then you can take your time going over the VOD. I would very much like to hear what you your thoughts on it as a fellow philosopher, and offer any questions or challenges that you might have. Oh, you drew it yourself? That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for that. You might not know this if you came in from the from Reddit and from the Xenoblade stream, but yeah. I in my debut I talked at length about how I made my own model. I both drew and rigged it, and what the process for that was like, in case that's something you want to learn more about, if you were an art lover. But if you don't, that's okay. But I did I did draw my own model. This was all me. I did it all by myself. I think I was saying something. I abandoned yet another point midway. I don't mean to do that. I think I was talking about why I'm glad to do this stream. Yeah. I think it's not just that I think this stream did. Right now I'm thinking that this stream did well, but it's it's kind of like the other way around, that I did well on this stream. But more than that, I think I'm glad that I did it, like this particular stream. I think that first of all, I think that people have been, in general, have been anticipating my sort of elaboration on my definition of justice, which is only natural, and it's like and it's like flattering. It's a good thing, because they're here for my philosophy, and I want them to be, right? What other two announcements? I haven't forgotten. I'll get to that after. Don't worry. Yeah. So I'm glad, both in the sense of originally, I was thinking of doing this at a much later, indeterminate point in time, because I just, at the time, there was a point when I just didn't think this was necessary for my channel, and lately I've come to think that actually I think this is this will be really helpful, just to sort of establish what I think justice is, so that in the future, if I make reference to sort of like, especially in episodes of Justice Spoken, if I say things like, I think that this is just or unjust, my viewers and I have this sort of like common understanding as to, okay, so what I'm working from, I came to see this as among other things, something that like may help improve the quality of Justice Spoken episodes going forward. I can speak more. This was something I was thinking of speaking more on as well. The sort of progress of Justice Spoken. I think that's also something else to say for next stream, which should be after the second episode of Justice Spoken comes out, which I haven't started on, and that's something I'll have to do this week. So back to announcements. So, hype. We must know about justice. Yes, it is very interesting to hear you expand on your concept of justice. Oh, I'm glad you think so, Ari. Feel free to check out the one section of my lecture that that you missed before joining. And by the way, I keep going on tangents. This is the way the way my brain operates. Speaking of, like thinking about the word lecture now and why I hesitated to do this. Another reason that I hesitated is my Actually, no. Actually, it's okay. I'll say this for next week. This will better fit in with next week's theme. Next week, I think I'm going to actually. Right now, I am leaning towards talking about in detail about what I think an idle philosopher is, and that will have a lot to do with the philosophy for my channel, and what an idle philosopher is, what the philosophy for my channel, and basically what you can expect. From me, and I think we'll end up exploring some interesting territory in that discussion, or I hope so. Damn, we still going. Yeah, how was dinner, Kai? I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm looking to wrap up soon. Actually, if I really had to, I could probably make this stream go on for much longer. But I am getting my viewers. Even my viewers have observed that I'm tiring out. So, announcements. So this schedule, I am always blocking the numbers with my fat head. So chatting stream was today. I am thinking of doing Baba Is You again on Wednesday. Haven't played that in a while. There is a chance that I will cancel Wednesday's stream if I have too much work to do. Because I'm already doing like 3 other streams this week. Basically, if you don't see, if it's like, if Wednesday, if 1 o'clock on Wednesday approaches and you don't see a streaming room, that probably means it's canceled. If it is canceled, I'll also, like, you know, a post on like Blue Sky and like Twitter that, like, you know, hey, like no stream today, so like, you know, don't come. Yeah, and if you do say, I usually try to put up waiting rooms around roughly 24 hours in advance. So depending on how tomorrow goes, like I'll make the decision then. On Friday, once again, just like the past 3 weeks, I'll be playing Xenoblade X on 1 o'clock, continuing my challenge run, 90 Days to Lifehold. Was good, made veggie soup. Oh, nice! Something nice and like wholesome and healthy. I like to have my I like to have a good veggie soup myself sometimes. Take care of yourself. Yeah, I'm trying. Thank you very much. And then so I'm really embarrassed. I shouldn't say I'm embarrassed. I am okay, but I am though. Yeah, I can't help but just be a little embarrassed, not in the bad way, but the excited way to talk about this. After streaming solo for almost a month, I will be having my first collab stream with another VTuber this coming week. On Saturday at, you know what? I'm just gonna poof out of existence to show you clearly on the screen, because I don't want to move in any other way. So as you saw there for a second, I will be playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with Axaeon this Saturday, December 6th at 8 p.m., which is his normal streaming time, not mine. So this is the latest in the day that I will have ever streamed, even including my debut, which, you know, was scheduled for 3 o'clock, and then I started at like 4:15. Understandably, some of you, if you're used to my regular stream time, may not be able to make it then, including Ed, my moderator, if you're lurking in chat, and just anyone else, especially if you're from Europe, if you're on the other side of the world, feel free to catch the VOD once it's up. That will be on my channel. I got jump scared. I thought you left. Did you hear the noise I made? Jeez. Okay. I've only been able to tune in intermittently to today's stream, but I really enjoyed the parts I've gotten to hear. Also, looking forward to the collab on Saturday to Axaeon jump scare. You guys don't need to rub it in. Why y'all saying the same thing? Now my voice is really tired. Ari says, I won't be able to make that time, but I hope it goes well. Yeah, I hope you'll catch the VOD. I'm hoping it'll be fun. Berserker, hey, I was only able to catch the end. I hope the stream was good. Thanks, Berserker. I encourage you to catch the whole thing if you can to watch the VOD, because this was an important stream. And I also sang at the beginning, even if that's the only part that you want to catch. Didn't know I was that scary. You're not scary, Axe. It's just that I jump scare easily, especially when I'm kind of like tired and discombobulated, and my anxiety. I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety. I may not have I may not have as many phobias as Charis, but I I do, you know, I do get jump scared easily when my sort of existing mental health, like my mental health, my mental state, is kind of on the fragile end. LOL. What time is it's? We've been up for almost 2:45. There's more I want to say, and I can't, and not that I can't. I feel like I need to say it before ending stream, and because because it is something that needs to be said before the collab this weekend. If I didn't say it, it would feel wrong, and because of that, it's something I need to say. It's just that now I'm like now there's more pressure because I'm like who's in the audience. Berserker says, yeah, bummed I missed this stream in particular. I'll definitely be catching the VOD. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the feeling of being bummed that you missed a certain stream. But yeah, you know, VOD's always there. That's one reason that I prefer I gravitate towards YouTube over Twitch. It's because you know, all my VODs are available here just forever and in perpetuity, no matter, you know, how long from now someone discovers me and wants to catch up with all my content from the very beginning. Just imagine the audience is naked. No. That is like this is a horrible day to know how to read. Just spit it out. You're only building more anticipation. Okay, you know what? You know what? Fine. I'll finish with you know, keeping you all guessing, and making you suffer. So what I wanted to say about this collab is, and I am you know, hesitating and struggling, is this is so hard. Axaeon is a lot of things to me. He's not just he's another philosopher VTuber, but I also address him as my senpai. He is also a role model and a mentor to me, and my friend. Objectively speaking, we haven't known each other that long, and I say that a lot. But even so, I've learned so much from him already, even in this short time frame, and I hope to learn more. And yeah, so it's a little. I think our friendship is a little unusual, yeah, because of like, we're both VTubers, and you know, he's a lot of different things, so it just in that and because of that, when I am announcing this collab, it feels wrong to just say I'm just playing the game with Axaeon this weekend and just leave it at that, because because of like it's not like to me he's just like a random VTuber. It's quite the opposite. And so and I first met Axaeon through YouTube, through VTubing, in August, almost 4 months ago to the day. We first actually maybe I might as well tell this story now. Yeah, so I was introduced, like, yeah, so I'm like his first fan, right? Because I commented, I watched this, I was there for his debut, and then I commented on his video saying, like, I'm already fellow philosopher here. I am already a fan. I think those were my exact words. And then Does anyone want to hear the story of how I became friends with Axaeon? It's not like I don't think it's a terribly dramatic or, you know, story, or, you know, it's pretty simple, but I think it's kind of funny, and I wonder if anyone else is like curious about how it actually happened, because I feel like if it were me and I were sort of an observer, I would be curious. I hope you're. I think that you would be okay with my talking about this axe, but so around, I want to say, sometime in September, Axe was streaming this game. Axe started streaming this game called Baby Steps, right? It's like a rage game, and it was only like 10 minutes, like the stream had just begun. He had just started at the game, and then it wasn't working. You know, there were technical difficulties, so yeah, that's fine, feel free to go ahead. Okay. I'm telling the long anticipated story. I don't know if anyone actually cares. Yeah, so the stream game technical difficulties, game wasn't working, so he said like okay, so I'm just gonna, you know, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to cancel the stream, and we'll try this again another time. And I felt bad for a couple of reasons. One, because I guess from my part, I knew ahead of time that the stream was happening, so I set some of my own time like aside. Like I you know, organized my schedule so that I would be available for the stream, and I was really looking forward to it, and then it wasn't happening, so I was disappointed. And then another thing is that I felt bad for Axaeon too, because like you know, logically speaking, he for him to be streaming, he had to have done the same with his own schedule. You know, meaning that you know, like now that the stream is canceled, you know, he kind of like set aside all that time for nothing. So I felt bad, but also I sensed an opportunity because I prior to this, I had already asked Axaeon, you know, by the way, when I like how can I get in touch with you, you know, privately, if I want to, you know, ask you maybe like a sensitive question, or if I want to, you know, inform you of my upcoming, tell you that my, you know, upcoming debut, or, you know. Yeah, basically, you know, say that, oh, you know, I have a date for it, or something like that. And basically, it was like, oh, you can just send me an email or DM me on Twitter. So I saw an opportunity. The stream was being canceled. Before the stream ended, I typed into chat something like, hey, Axe, can you DM me on Twitter? I didn't know him like you know, that very well yet at the time, so I wasn't sure what his response to me was. I'm not sure he actually responded directly to me, so I'm not sure he saw my message. And I was like, okay, I'll just go on Twitter anyway, just in case. The stream ended. I actually see him enter my DMs, and he was very yeah, he was basically like, hi, and I can't remember exactly what he said. I bet if I pulled up Twitter right now, I could retrieve the message. And he was just basically like, yeah, hi. And I was like, and then after saying, hey, you know, DM me on Twitter, I basically said, oh, it's not letting me look at my DMs right now. Ooh, Twitter sucks. Hey, are you on Discord? because I like I prefer talking to people on Discord over Twitter. That's like my preferred method of internet communication. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, here's my Discord username, you know, feel free to you know, to add me. So I added him, and he accepted. And then we started talking a little bit about the technical issues he was having at the time. I think I believe that this was at the time that he was trying to install something new in his PC, and like it wasn't he couldn't get it. It was sort of being obstinate at first, and he got frustrated and kind of like wanted to flip the table, and I was like, well, I'm no good when it comes to tech support, but I can offer you moral support. I remember saying that, and this was like the very beginning of our Discord history. And then he was very, very, very polite, and he was like, yeah, anyway, I think like I'm gonna get going and look into this now, maybe try to watch some videos and figure out how to solve my tech issues. But before I did, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I don't want to leave you hanging, and I thought that was so nice, just one of the nicest things in the world. It was very considerate of him to consider that, basically, because there some people might just be like, oh, I have to go now, bye, and then yeah. But I said, should I check my I don't want to misquote anybody at this point. Should I just continue to paraphrase? I think I will. I'll try my best to I'll try my best. I was like, yeah, actually, I did want to just take a few more minutes to talk about something. Is that okay? And then he was like, yeah. And then I was like, so, and at this point, I started getting really nervous. I was so nervous that I was shaking. I think I had trouble breathing. Like I was like on the verge of hyperventilating. And I was like, basically like, so yeah, maybe I should pull up my message. I think I should be able to find it, because I don't want to botch this. What did I say again? Okay, give me a minute to try to find this. Oh, now it's now saying, we need to index this DM. Give us a bit. Oh, I don't know if this was going to work. I think I found it. This is kind of embarrassing. Yeah, so it'll be easier if I just read this out. I think that should be okay. Sure, I'm happy to chat. Was there anything you wanted to talk about? Yeah, I'll try to be upfront about it. I literally said I was hoping that we could be friends. I said it like that. It's like, you know how like little kids, like kindergarteners will just go up to each other out of the blue and say like, can I be your friend, or will you be my friend? I feel like that's what I did. Like that's not how adults normally make friends or talk to each other, right? But I feel like that's basically what I did, and so it worked. Somehow it worked. He was like, "Wow, that's a very kind thing to say / offer." And of course, I'd be glad to be friends. And I was on cloud 9. It was one of the best days of my life. I was like, yeah, I was just really astonished. I was like, I can't believe this worked. Also, the tea's so nice, and I was. After that, I said, oh, thank goodness. I wasn't sure if you were looking for friends, since you come off as a little aloof on stream. I was so nervous to ask. I was shaking. and that's the story. And basically, yeah, the rest is history. Ever since then, we've been doing voice calls about once a week on Discord. So I guess that's the last. How long has it been? Like, I guess 2 months. It feels longer to me somehow. Wait, what did people say? Classic. You'll love to see it. 100 charisma move. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence, Tara. Better than not doing anything, to be honest. Do you mean better than not reaching out, or better than not doing anything? Not doing anything. You know, in light of the fact that the stream was canceled, not doing anything instead. That's very sweet, and I think we should normalize that approach. Yeah, I think that's a good thought. I think that when it comes to children, for instance, I think that there are certain things that children do that adults could actually stand to emulate. That it would actually be beneficial to emulate. I think that we live in a society. I think. What am I trying to say? I personally have a sense that we live in a society whose constituents often look down on children, and sort of the normative view of being an adult and what is acceptable adult behavior is basically anti-child, is basically to be the complete opposite of a child. Whatever a child is, an adult should not be, and that's sort of what an adult is. And I don't... that's not my view. I personally think that it's important for us to, you know, stay connected with our inner child, so to speak. And maybe just, you know, going up to people you like and saying, you know, can I be friends, like a kindergartner is you know, one such example. Oh, I'm late. No problem, Mashers. There's always the VOD. Ari, very wholesome, very upfront, perfectly balanced as all things should be. Penbu, better to ask to be friends than not do anything. I meant. Yeah. That. I mean, ultimately, that does sort of align with my philosophy. I am the kind of person that would rather say something, even if there's, you know, a risk that it could go badly, rather than keep silent out of fear. That's been sort of my approach for a long time. Also, to be fair, some people prefer to make business partners rather than friends in the VTubing sphere, so the hesitance is somewhat justified. That's not. I wouldn't say that that's the exact reason that I was hesitant, but I won't say any more on that. Anyway, before we end stream, I should conclude the announcements. So, after I guess technically I don't have. Maybe I don't have to announce this right now because it's further in the future. But it did also get announced on stream, someone else's stream the other day anyway. So I might as well say that the week after this week, so on Saturday, December 13th, which by the way is Taylor Swift's birthday, I will be collabing with my other very revered philosopher VTuber senpai, Charis on his channel. Rather than playing a game together, we will be having a discussion, and the themes and the details of that discussion stream will be revealed and announced at a later time. But that's a further ways off. But I hope that you're excited for that too. I'm very honored and excited at the prospect of collabing with both of my philosopher VTuber senpai. And honestly, because I've been talking about my debut a lot today, and sort of like you know, my journey, my progress, I'll let you in on another thing. So in the weeks leading up to my debut, especially when I was really stressed out while drawing my model or rigging my model, when I faced really tough obstacles that made me, question if I would be able to surmount them and succeed at my goal. Yeah, there were times when there were moments when things got so tough, I outright, wondered, like, should I just give up? Is this too much for me? Is this not worth it? And I'll be honest with you, I think the main thought that kept me going forward in that time frame was the thought that my senpai, Charis and Axaeon, were both waiting for me, because I was aware by that point that both of them had assented to collab with me in the future once I had debuted. I knew that was already on the table, and that very much gave me this mindset of, well, they're waiting for me, and I don't want to like let them down. There's there's so many good things waiting for me, so I've got to do my part. I've got to do my best and do my part by just finishing my model and debuting. And I think that thought gave me so much strength. It gave me the strength to pull through when I otherwise might not have been able to. And yeah, I honestly they've both inspired me and helped me so much in the short time that we've known each other so far that I question if I would have been able to actually debut and do all this without them. Not to deny myself credit for the things that I did, but that's just sort of a feeling that I get in my gut. I wonder if it would have been possible if I hadn't met them. And maybe in that light, this really was the right time and the only time I could have debuted. It couldn't have happened at any time in the 2 years prior. But yeah, there is actually one more announcement I have to make, and I almost forgot. So I made a Discord server. I know I was waffling on that last week, but it wasn't that I was saying like, no, I refuse to make a Discord server. I would definitely not make one. I was just weighing I was still just weighing the pros and cons to do so. I hesitated for a number of reasons, including sort of the time, the time burden that it would take, because I'm always pressed for time. Not gonna lie, it did take me like almost all day, like maybe at least half of yesterday, to set up, because more than just setting up the basic server, I like added bots to make the server like run. There's a verification process. There's there's stuff. Anyway, if you join it, you'll find out for yourself. The link is already in the description right now. So this may come as a surprise to some people. There is a Discord server now, and if I see you in the server after the stream, that's how I know that you were here for the stream. Because if you're not here, then you might not know. So if anyone who doesn't come, I know, like, haha, you didn't watch the stream. No, I'm joking. But yeah, because I am announcing it here for the first time publicly. Anyone who is here, you'll have early access compared to the ones who I already hear. I should mute my fucking desktop audio. I already hear, but like y'all be spamming me my new server, and I'm streaming, so I can't even moderate. Like, what the fuck is going on there? I can't believe I didn't notice Penbu. Wow, the Discord. Awesome. Oh, I missed. Glad we could help with the inspiration. I think that's one of the coolest things about VTubing, the way VTubers can both give and receive inspiration from other VTubers. Yeah, it is It's certainly a close-knit community. I'll give you that. Gotta turn on Discord streamer mode. I think you can tell already. I don't know where to find that. That's another thing that I need help with out of the long list of things so far that I've needed help with. So please continue to bear with me. Thank you so much for everyone for your interest. Evidently just by how much the ping noise is going off in my headphones. LMAO, I was wondering why the pings were being heard. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to hear it anymore. I've turned off desktop audio. You can hear your Discord pings. Gaming. Yeah, so now having said that, and since people are now spamming my server, and I really feel like I should look at what is actually going on here, because I'm not. That's probably I've made all the announcements that I need to make. Please look forward to my upcoming collabs. I think that this is a good time to end stream now, so thank you everyone so much for coming, for your support, your trust, your faith, your patience. It really means the world to me. And in addition to having senpai who are so supportive, another thing that inspires me now is seeing that I have fans who are here for me. They're showing up consistently for me, and that also inspires me to keep going and to not lose faith in myself and give up, seeing that people are here for me in this way, because I don't want to let them down. They're here for me, and maybe times they believe in me even when I struggle to believe in myself. That really helps me. That truly helps keep me going. So thank you. This is Tia Faire channel. Thank you for watching. Otsukaresama. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.